I'm so excited to see you tonight.
First date, baby. First date, I can't wait. First date.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of First Date with me as your host, Lauren Compton. You know my next guest from Impractical Jokers. He also recently launched a nonprofit called Gatto Pups and Friends, and he's releasing a children's book called Where's Barry? Welcome, Joe Gatto.
Nailed it.
Gatto.
That's great.
Fuck,
Gatto.
I keep saying, but I feel like it's got, like, I like,
Listen,
it's like.
if that's the word, I've been called much worse. So it's like, you can call me that. People always do that with my last name. It's weird. I guess it's like cat with a G.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
Gat. I like the gat
yeah, it's a little
though.
bit more
Whenever you
personality.
said that, I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, he's gangster.
I am.
I love
Staten Island.
that.
I'm from Staten Island.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on my show.
Are you kidding me? Thanks for having me.
Of
This is
course.
so sweet. I
I'm
love it.
so excited to have you.
Great.
So I've got some menu questions.
Okay.
I have appetizer questions,
I love it.
main course,
Fantastic.
and then a dessert question. And
The
on
dessert
and
ones
on.
are my favorite ones.
Yeah?
Yes.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's get this party started.
All right.
What do you wear when you go to sleep?
I used to sleep naked,
Mhm.
and then my kids started coming in, and my daughter. So I had to start throwing on. I do a really loose, like short.
Mm-hmm.
Not athletic. I don't like that material, but I like a comfy short. I do a
Like a
loose comfy
basketball short?
Yeah, but not the mesh. The mesh
Okay.
is no good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like a comfy cotton, like a Hanes comfy cotton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many kids do you have?
I have two: a 9-year-old daughter and a 7-year. He'll be 7-year-old son.
What are their names?
Milana and
Uh-huh.
Remington, Remo.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long have you been married?
I've been married 11 years this year. It'll be.
Oh.
Yeah, 10 years. We just yes, 11 years this year. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like want to jump to like all the dessert questions, but I will contain myself.
You have to go in order. You have
I
to go.
know.
We'll get there.
I know.
We'll get there.
But see, that's like the hard part of a date. You know,
Yeah,
you like just
for
want to like.
sure.
So are we gonna get married?
Oh,
like
that's yeah. I've had some that they should have waited for the dessert question. I've had some bad experiences with that. Yeah.
Have you always been a monogamous person?
No, I never really had a exclusive girlfriend until basically my college girlfriend, and then really my wife.
Really?
Yeah, I dated non-exclusively for a good portion of my life. Yeah.
So what made you want to settle down and be like more serious with someone?
I think with my wife Bessie, I had lost my mom, and she really stepped up, and I was really tight with my mom, and she had stepped up and helped me with that whole process, and I was like, oh, this is nice to have somebody like this. And then I was also getting older at that point. I didn't get married till I was 36-ish, and so I.
Okay,
had,
well,
you
let's
know.
not say that that's older. Okay.
No,
Like, that's-
for a Staten Island Italian boy, it's a little bit older for us. Yeah, so I didn't do that. So I was like, I had a big chunk of time post college till I was like early 30s, where I was, just non-exclusively, and
Yeah.
I didn't have a girlfriend or anything.
What's your love language?
Pastry? Is that a love language?
Pastry's a good one.
Yeah, I'm definitely probably physical touch. I'm a cuddler. I love that. And probably acts of service. I like to do acts of service for other people. Is that one? It's like, I don't like when people do things for me. I
yeah.
like doing stuff for other people.
Yeah.
Taking care of
I
people.
think that should be one.
It's not one?
I think acts of service is when someone does something for
Something
you.
for you. Yeah, I don't like that. So take that one off the table.
So I guess if you're doing something for someone else, that's how they know
Yes.
that you really like them.
Yes, that's true. That's true. I think but that's not one of them. Do you know all of them by heart?
Oh, God. With how many times I've asked this question, I
Yeah.
should. There's acts of service, physical touch.
Yeah.
There's gifts, words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation's a good one.
And
There's this one that we're not
God,
going to.
what's the-
Quality time.
What is it?
quality time.
Quality time. Yes,
I can't believe I always forget that one because
quality
I
time
think that
is
one's mine.
That's my wife's. Quality time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm clingy as fuck. Like you gotta never ever
Yeah.
leave me.
When we started dating, my sisters affectionately called my wife a marsupial because she'd always be sitting on me and holding me. So she was a marsupial. Yeah, it was very funny.
What do you do to relax?
Video games. I like video game.
Same.
I do like to play video games.
What do you like to play?
I am PS5. I like to play.
I have a PS5
yes,
too.
I do like the Spider-Man games. I like story games, like Spider-Man, Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
Is one of my favorites. Anything Ubisoft, that whole company, I love everything they do. But those kind of games, like those games, I don't like first-person shooters. I
I
never
get
work it out.
anxiety.
Yeah.
I scream.
I need to
get
see more than my
scared.
hand. this is no good for me. Like I don't know what's going on there, so I don't do that. And then I play the old school video game stand-up one I have in my house. I like playing like Gallagher and
Stand-up one. What do you
know,
mean?
like the ones in arcades.
Oh yeah.
We have one of those at my house. And
Oh wow.
And me and my son play
That's
that and
next
stuff.
level.
I love that. It's fun. I play old school Dig Dug and like Pac-Man, Super Pac-Man, and stuff like that. Like
I
those
love
kind of games.
Pac-Man too. I have an Atari.
Oh, all right. There you go.
Yeah, Atari's
Do you
fun.
have the real one, or do you have
No,
the
I have
one
the real
that
one.
released?
It's brown. You put the thing in it.
Right, but is it the re-release that everything was there, or is it like an old school one you bought from like a vintage store?
It's from a vintage store,
Oh,
and I have the
fancy.
controller and the
Oh, what a-
turning it.
yeah, with the bomber
and
games.
I play
Yeah.
Breakout.
Circus.
Oh my God,
okay.
we're nerding out.
I love that,
Okay,
yeah.
main course question.
You're like good enough. We did it right there.
We're connecting.
You sound surprised.
I'm not surprised. I've been asking you to come on my show for
Yeah.
a long time.
It's true. We're here.
But I didn't know that you played video games.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's nice. That's nice to know that I'm not the only fucking nerd in the room. Let's get into our main course questions. Who do you think should pay on a first date?
The guy for sure. Yeah, I've always paid for first dates. I think that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think. But with nothing expected, I think it's just got to be. You know, if you liked to spend time with somebody, you should pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that.
What's your biggest turn off?
I had when people are, well, first of all, definitely when people are mean to the waiter or wait staff, that is like, no, like that's the worst. I mean, I've had that a couple times, and that was like, that's the end of this date.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually left a date once.
Really? What happened?
Yeah. She was talking about how fat the waiter was. And then she
Oh.
got into a story about how fat. She sat on a plane next to a fat person, and she just kept saying they were fat and disgusting, and they just kept spilling over. And they were fat and blah, blah, blah. And then they came back and they're like, "Do you want dessert?" I'm like, "No, we're done." She's like, "You don't want dessert?" I said, "No, not with you."
Oh.
that was one of those. That was rough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's probably my number. I think that's pretty universal though.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything to that. When people speak ill of people,
Mm-hmm.
like a gossipy, like speak ill of people, I feel like that's a trait that people speak ill to you about people. They're speaking ill
Yeah.
about you to people. So I feel like if people have stories about,
They're
like,
like
oh,
shaming.
shaming, yeah. It's funny if like you have a good friend and you tell them a story about them and there's love there. That's different. But if people are like gossipy, that's not a big turn on for me.
Yeah. I have like a secret thing that I do with shaming, which isn't good.
Okay.
But
well, you're
I
aware.
will see some girls from Instagram that like I follow,
Mhm.
and when I see them in person, I'm like, you have Facetune. You are editing
yeah.
your photos
Yeah.
too much. You don't look like your photo. And then I'm like, shit, I'm shaming. And I'm like, but that's their fault.
Yeah. They got to show the world them. Take off the mask.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Facetune
So-
thing, it's very interesting to me because I've been falling apart in high definition for 10 years on television. So I am what I am. I don't even know. Like but then I'll have people who want to take a selfie with me and I'll open Snapchat and they'll do like the thing with the face and they look like a cloud. And I'm like, this isn't a good picture. Like you don't even look like
Yeah.
yourself, you know? And I'm
There's
like, you
too
should do
many
it.
layers
Yeah.
of the Photoshop where you just become a blur.
Yeah, that's it. It would look like a dirty camera lens.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's the filter.
That's the filter.
I know, yeah, that's tough.
That's annoying.
Yeah.
Let's say that you meet your soulmate and it's like going great,
Okay.
and another hot chick walks by.
Another soulmate.
Another
Ooh,
soulmate.
Scandalous.
How do you peek a look? Do you just do it? No shame?
I mean, you know what? I think that people appreciate pretty people
Mhm.
and whatnot. So I have said, oh wow, that's a really attractive person. Oh, that's a really attractive person. They'd be like, I don't think you do the sneak look or whatever. I've also had a trick for a while where I put my eyes where the person was going. So like if I see somebody's coming and I know they're going to end up over there, I'll just do this.
And
I'll
for them
wait
to
till they
cross.
cross, and then you're like, oh, they came into my sight. Like you don't follow them, you shoot ahead. Like you lead them like you're hunting. Like you lead them, and like there we go. Oh, all right, you get a quick glimpse. That's probably my move.
That's, I think, the smartest move I've heard.
Here I am.
That's amazing. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Usually, if I see someone that's really attractive, usually it's always a girl. I'm like always scoping out girls. I'm like,
Of course.
God, she's got great hair.
Yeah.
And I'm the first person to always be like, babe, look at her butt. Is it real? Is it real? Is it
Yeah,
real?
right.
I
The
like,
same sex checkout is way easier. though,
Yeah.
Right. The same sex. I was like, oh my god, that's a hot dude. I'll be like, look how hot that guy is. And then I'll be like, I wish I'll never ever look like that. Like, it's crazy to be like that. But I feel like when you're talking about the same sex, it comes from a place of admiration.
Totally.
Yeah, so it's like a different thing.
Yeah.
I think your partner doesn't feel as much like, what are you doing?
100%.
Close your jaw. Do you see his abs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many serious? So you've had 2 serious relationships.
Yeah, I had my college girlfriend and then my wife.
And what do you think is the key to a good relationship?
I'll say this. So I went through a tough time, and we had some stuff, me and my wife. And then I feel like the big thing that I learned, the big takeaway is when you feel like you have your soulmate, people are always like, and I was guilty of this as much as she. He knows what I'm thinking. She knows what I'm thinking. And nobody knows what you're thinking. I think you just need to. And then you get upset when the person doesn't know what you're thinking. And that is the recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
I think that's a big one. I think that you have to have the confidence to be like, look, this is what's bothering me. It doesn't even have to be a big thing. It's like, look, you shouldn't have said that, or I didn't like the way that you said that in front of people, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or you're not making enough time for me. Whatever the little thing is, catch it when it's little.
Yeah.
You have to catch stuff when it's little.
I have found that at least when relationships really work for me, I'm very sensitive, and I have to be with someone who's not sensitive. Because
if you have 2 sensitives, it's just you're both balled up in the corner crying. Yeah, yeah.
investing can feel intimidating, and people don't know where to start. Many people think that you might need a lot of money to invest, and that is not true. Investing often gets put off because it doesn't seem urgent. Busy lives mean little time to research and manage investments. Acorns makes it easy to start automatically saving and investing in your future. You don't need a lot of money or expertise to invest with Acorns. In fact, you can get started with just your spare change. Acorns recommends an expert-built portfolio that fits you and your money goals, then automatically invests your money for you. I think investing can also be really fun. I mean, who doesn't love having different streams of income? It's also really important, and it can really help you build a more secure future. I think Acorns is super innovative, and I really enjoy working with them. Head to acorns.com/first date or download the Acorns app to start saving and investing for your future today. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/first date. The best way to learn a language? Immersion. Living where the language is spoken and using it every day. But if that's not in the cards this year, you can still learn a new language the second best way, and that's with Babbel. Be a better you this year with Babbel, the science-backed language learning app that actually works. Don't pay hundreds of dollars for private tutors or waste hours on apps that don't really help you speak the language. Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons are handcrafted by over 200 language experts to help you start speaking a new language in as little as 3 weeks. Babbel's designed by real people for real conversations. My second language is Italian, and any time that I need to freshen up on words or fix some grammar, I always turn to Babbel, and it is so helpful and so easy. I couldn't recommend it enough to use. Here's a special limited time deal for our listeners. Right now, get 55% off your Babbel subscription, but only for our listeners at babbel.com/first date. Get 55% off at babbel.com/first date, spelled BABBEL.com/first date. Rules and restrictions may apply. And it's good for me because whenever I get like overly sensitive, he'll say something that hurts my feelings or like rubs me the wrong way. Yep. He also won't get affected at all, and he'll just continue on with his day. And I'm like, are you not seeing how this is affecting me?
Right.
And by him not like even acknowledging it, I let it go because I'm like, well, it's dumb. What am I gonna do? Just be here and like be all super sensitive
ruin
about
everything.
myself?
Yeah.
And then whenever I say something that's like, you know, I poke him, he never ever cares. He's just like,
armor. Yeah.
So I'm like, all right. So there's like a lot that just I let go.
It's interesting because son is very much my wife, and he's sensitive. He's like a sensitive little boy. Like he'll like, and it's so funny to see him like starting to try to deal with his emotions.
Yeah.
And I'm not equipped for it because I'm not super sensitive. And I'll be like, you got to tag in here. Like I don't even know what to say to him. Like even my daughter sometimes she'll be like, she's like, I don't even know why I'm upset. And I'm like, have you tried not being upset? Like I don't know what to say to her, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like I think that balance is right. I think you need the other side of that.
Does a lot of your comedy come from your family?
My comedy comes up a lot from growing up. My mom was a batshit crazy Sicilian Italian woman from Staten Island. It was great. Yeah, she's great. All those stories from her. My family too. I've got some with my kids, but a lot of it is really just my life. It's been just been crazy, 20 years of this. Like I can't believe it's how it's ended up where it ended up. And I just have a lot of stories. I'm mostly a storyteller.
Yeah.
Like when I'm on my stage show and stuff, I'm not really like a punchline, like what's up with that? Like it's more like I'm telling stories and, elaborating and painting a picture with the story. So that's where I think a lot of my comedy comes from. It's from my experiences and sharing them.
Where did you grow up?
Staten Island. I grew up
Okay.
I grew up in the hood in Staten Island. And I lived there I grew up there, and then I went to college out on Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
And then I lived in LA for a little bit, chasing the dream, moved back, and then I lived in like Flushing, Philadelphia. I moved around a bunch. I was out here for a couple of years.
Have you ever been to Italy?
I have not yet.
How?
I know. And see, you barely know me. All right. This is great. This is our date. You barely know me. And everyone has that exact reaction with me. People get angry. Like, why haven't you? The only opportunity I had to go to Italy was we were going to do our honeymoon, but I wanted to just like unplug and relax. It was during, I was like, I'm not going, I want to see Italy. So we just ended up going to Bora Bora and just sitting on the beach. And I was like, I'll get to Italy. And now it's like, I got to get to Italy.
You
I
have
haven't
to
been.
go.
I know.
Especially since you have roots there.
Yeah. And I love desserts and food.
Yeah.
I'm a foodie. Yeah.
You need to go.
I will. Okay, I'll go.
Go.
All right. Don't be so sensitive about
Don't
it.
come back on my show until you go.
I'll go right now. Hit pause. I'll be back.
Let's see. How long do you wait until you like burp in front of someone you're dating?
Pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly, yeah. And if I'm not one of those guys that either if it happens, it happens. Like I don't think, I also definitely number two with the door open because I get claustrophobic. Yeah, so I think that's like
We have a lot
I
in
think you're really
common.
comfortable. I know. I think it really makes you. I think that's a level of comfort that you're like, okay, we're here. You've already
Yeah.
jumped the hurdle. So I think that's like a badge of honor for people to wear. If I'm burping in front of you,
Yeah.
using the bathroom in front of you, I think that's a big thing. Yeah.
So being in New York, do you like pineapple on your pizza?
Oh, do I have to leave now? Is that right? Am I gonna go?
Are you
I'm
gonna say
go.
yes or no? It
No,
depends.
no.
Okay, good.
No. Do I like pineapple? No New Yorker likes pineapple on their pizza. Oh, the Hawaiian pizza, the worst thing ever. Yes.
I feel like if I ever meet someone that's like in New York that likes pineapple, do they even serve pizza?
You
with
could get
pineapple
anything in
it?
New York. There's always something. But I fucks with pineapple big. I just don't do it on my pizzas.
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
I
Definitely
think
not.
that's solid.
Yeah, I think cheese and red sauce.
I don't really like pineapple in general.
No.
Uh,
Ooh.
it's okay.
Fruit salad. What are you stabbing first in a mixed
Here's
fruit
the thing.
salad?
I'm not like a big. I don't like the texture of pineapple.
Oh, okay, and that's where it comes. That's it. You're done. The stringiness
Yeah.
gets caught in the teeth.
I
I'm
think
with you.
that's what
I
it
hear
is.
ya.
I
Yeah.
just if I'm gonna eat something sweet, it's gonna be in the form of peanut butter and chocolate.
Oh my god.
I know.
Follow-up question. If a fruit salad's in front of you, what's the first thing you're stabbing? A mixed fruit salad.
Anything but the melon.
Anybody with the melon, you don't go anywhere. Green or cantaloupe, or that's
why
it, really.
even? Why even? Who eats melon? Does anybody in here eat melon?
Most of America eats melon.
Nyana, you eat melon? Any you eat melon? This is fucking weird, dude. You eat melon?
I don't want to tell you yes because you seem quite
my
agitated about it. I don't
gosh.
put it on my pizza if that helps.
I don't like melon. I don't like watermelon. I don't like cantaloupe.
You
I
don't like
honeydew.
watermelon? That's the most un-American thing in
It's
the
a
world.
melon.
Oh, it's in the name. You're right. You got me there. I don't do cantaloupe if that helps. I don't do cantaloupe. I steer clear.
I don't do melon.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay, we're gonna go to my tasting menu.
Please.
So it's a this or that thing. You just say the first thing that comes to your head. Deep dish or thin crust pizza?
Thin crust.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Shall-
No, that's a lie. Vanilla.
But chocolate was the first thing to come to your mind.
Yeah, because I thought you were talking about candies. But if I'm going cupcakes side by sides, phew, I'm hitting
Vanilla?
Vanilla cake.
Like
Vanilla cake, vanilla frosting.
confetti cake?
Of course. I'm not an animal. My blood type is confetti cake.
That's very, very
Yeah,
fair.
yeah.
Shower or bath?
Shower.
Karaoke or dancing?
Dancing.
What's your go-to dance move?
I break it down.
Do you?
Yeah, I got skills to pay the
Like
bills.
you twerk?
No, I wouldn't say I twerk.
Then you
but
don't break it down.
I will say no. I don't. I drop it like it's hot.
If you're telling me you're doing the fucking sprinkler,
No, I'm not one of them. I'm not. I know I'm a
I
dad,
don't
but I'm not doing
know.
dad moves. I pop and lock. I could do a little bit of a backspin if I needed
Okay.
to. But I
backspin?
yeah, if I had to. I had a thing where I would like. I don't drink, smoke. Never done a drug in my life. Every time I've gone out, people thought I was out of my mind.
have you ever drank in your life?
Never been drunk. So they always thought that I was
That's
completely
a red
wasted
flag.
the whole time.
That's a red flag.
Is it red flag?
Kind of.
Okay. You could consider it a red flag.
I
if you
hate
like.
that you accepted that so easily.
Well, I don't. I think you're wrong, but I'm not going to tell you that in your house.
you can tell me that I'm wrong.
Oh, well, you're completely wrong. Most
Why?
people admire that.
Have you ever been on a date with someone that got completely shit-faced?
I love that. I don't mind it at
You
all.
do?
I don't mind being around drunk people. I'm out till 4 a.m. with people.
Does it remind
dancing,
you why
singing.
you don't drink?
Partially.
Yeah.
Mostly men, though.
Yeah.
Mostly men. Yeah, mostly men. I just started in college. I didn't really get into it. And then I saw how much more money I had and how I remembered everything the next day. And I was like, this is fun. And I woke up okay. And I always have, I'm naturally just a natural high. I'm a high energy person. So it never really came to that. And I was like, I just don't need this. And then before I knew it, I was like, I'm not going to do it. So
It's interesting that you play video games and you don't like smoke weed or
I know,
anything.
it's crazy.
It's such
Yeah.
a good combo.
I know.
It's like confetti and vanilla.
I eat desserts while I'm playing. That's what I think.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
desserts, yeah.
So you've never smoked cigarettes,
Never smoked a cigarette. Never tried drug.
never had alcohol.
No, I've been drunk.
Have you ever left a date because she got too wasted?
No, I've not had another date because they got into. There was one that was an angry drunk, and I don't vibe with that.
Yeah.
Really well. Yeah, I didn't. Who tried to start shit when we were out with like people with string on? I'm like, this is not. It was early on enough that I was like, this is not.
Yeah.
Gonna be something I go with. But I love drunk people. I'm around drunk people all the time. I'm out partying all the time with people.
So what's your vice?
Gambling?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a gambler. Yeah, I'm a gambler.
Are you a big gambler?
Yes, I like gambling.
What do you
Yeah.
like to play?
Craps. Yes, I love craps, baccarat, and I play all the casino games except poker. I don't like taking other people's money. I like taking the house money.
Do you like Vegas?
Yeah, I like Vegas.
Where do you stay when you go to Vegas?
Either Aria or Cosmopolitan normally.
Oh, I love Aria.
Aria's great. Yeah, I live there. Those two places. I stay. It depends when I'm performing out there. I'll stay where I am, like the Mirage. I've stayed. There. I
Yeah.
love that place too. I just enjoy. It's not my favorite place to gamble though. Vegas is a little.
Where's the best place to gamble?
I like Ohio. There's a lot of good.
Ohio.
Yeah, but you're surprised. I know. That's it. I heard.
I
the
didn't
giggles.
even know there was a casino in
Well,
Ohio.
that's because it's not your vice. I bet you could tell me there's a bar there.
I could tell you where every single bar is.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's weird because they give you free alcohol when you gamble.
Yeah, but they give you free coffee and water, and that's what I do. A casino coffee, a water, and a craps game is one of my favorite things. in
You
the
just
world.
never have had any desire?
Never. Yeah, never really got into it. I grew up really geeky. I was like really. I didn't roll with that type of crowd. I was a math.
Yeah.
I was a math team. I was a mathlete. I was like a creative
Oh,
writer.
God,
Like I was like
yeah.
really, really unfuckable. and even in college, like I never just got into it. And then when my father had passed away when I was younger, I was 19. He always said, I know you're a good guy, and I just equated that for some reason that I'm not going to get drunk and get in trouble. And then I saw how everybody was, and I was like, that's not for me. And everybody always thought I was drunk, so it wasn't even like a peer pressure thing. It was like, come on, you got to drink. They were like, slow down, man, you're crazy.
Yeah.
So it was like the
You
reverse
should
of
stop
that.
doing cocaine.
I know, right? And then I got people home. I just felt like, took care of people, my love language,
Yeah.
I guess, so that's just my path.
Have you ever been in a fight?
I got in one fight and I lost. I got my nose broke.
Oh,
When
no.
I was 12 years old, yeah. Must have been a strong kid to break this honker. I know what you're thinking. But I was, I got my nose broke when I was
When you were 12?
12. Yeah, the neighborhood ruffian in my neighborhood broke
What
my
did you
nose.
do?
I defended my next door neighbor's clothesline. He was shooting it with BB guns, and he was putting holes in my best
Oh my
friend's
God! Why
thing.
did I think you were talking about branding? I was defending his brand. Okay, so I've been on Instagram for way too long.
Way too long. No, so he had my next door neighbor, my best friend. His grandmother used to hang their clothes outside to dry, and he had a BB gun. He was putting holes in their clothes, and I was like, "Stop it!" And he said, "Make me." And I was like, "Okay." And then he just beat the hell out of me. But then I went home. I got vindicated by my mother. My mom was like, I told you, crazy. But when I went home, I was bleeding all over the place, and she just opens the door, and she's like, "Who?" And I'm like, "Billy Bland." And she pulled me in the house. She calls his mother, and she says, "Get your piece of shit son and get down here now," and hangs up. And which was weird because she never introduced herself. We don't know who this. You're like, who called me? She comes down with her son, and my mom is like going off. She's like, "You're a piece of garbage. How could you do this? You're supposed to be friends, right?" And Billy is like a tough kid. Like, he's like, I think he was 14. I was 12, so he was like 15 or something. And he goes, "Shut up!" And my mom snapped, saw red. She grabbed him by the shirt, walked him over to the stove, lit the fire.
No.
And swear to God, held his face to the open flame and yelled, "I'll burn your fucking eyes out!" Swear to God. And then his mother's like, "Let's calm down." And she goes, "You're next, bitch." And then they moved. They were moved. I swear to God.
They moved?
100% true story, yeah.
Oh my
They moved,
God,
like
yeah.
2 months
they
later.
thought they were living
Yeah.
next to murderers.
Yeah, they moved. He couldn't come down my street. Like, my
Oh
sister was
my
like trying to run him over with
God.
the car. Yeah, it was crazy.
I wonder if he ever hurt anybody else again.
No. I mean, it was a fight. I mean, we're kids. We're boys. We got in a fight, and he was just way better at fighting than I was. I don't think he even realized what had happened. It happened so fast.
Yeah.
He wasn't too vindictive of a kid. It was just like boys getting in a
Yeah,
in a
but
wrestle.
more about your mom.
My mom's a badass.
So we got Sicilian in the blood.
Ooh, yeah, 100%.
Oh man.
Yeah, my
she
great-
sounds like a good time.
She comes from a family of crazy ladies. Like the lineage is just insanity. Of
Yeah.
my mom's side, it's great. They are my great grandmother, my grandmother. Yeah, they were all.
So do you have
crazy.
any of these traits? Any of these like
Oh, for sure.
fiery?
Yeah, I'm fiery for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, fiery for
Do
sure.
you have like a temper?
No, I wouldn't say I have a temper. I'm pretty level-headed.
But when
I
you get
will
mad?
say, yeah, I do get mad when family gets involved. Like if somebody's disrespecting my family or my friends or people I care about, that's when I really go off. I have a quick wit, so I'm not. I fight very well, but I
Yeah.
don't throw any punches or anything. And I use my wit as my weapon.
That's good.
Yeah. I'm not a fisticuff kind of guy. Clearly, my mom was.
Man. All right. Back to this menu. I like where this is going.
Sorry, there you go. I would change it. It's nice. We get to know each other.
I know. I'm learning a lot here. What's your favorite car?
I'm not really a car head guy, but I will say that I had an affinity for the Cadillac CTS. It was one of my
okay.
favorite cars, and I drove when I moved back from LA. I drove to New York in one, and it was just a nice ride, and it was a nice car. So a Cadillac the CTS is one. I like a sedan over a. So my wife has her car, her big car. She likes a big truck, and I have a sedan. I like a car better than a truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
I like classic cars.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
You're a motorhead or no?
My dad was into cars.
Okay.
So when
got in cars.
like he collected muscle
nice.
cars.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. So that was when you.
I wasn't rich, and that is why when I was growing up, all of our money went into cars.
Oh, his hobby. Wow.
Yeah, that was like cars and guns.
Okay.
He was in Vietnam. He was a Vietnam vet, so like if that tells you anything.
He drove there.
Yeah, all of his trauma just took
Yeah,
him
that's
straight
right.
into cars and guns.
Okay.
So I grew up going to car shows, and I learned
Gotcha.
way too much about
And it was a bonding
engine.
thing with your dad, right? So that's that you had an affinity for
Yeah.
because it was a cool thing.
Yeah.
I love. That's cool.
So I still don't know how to change the oil in a car,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
could never change a tire. But I could tell you the difference between a big block and a small block. So
Okay.
I know stuff like that.
There you go.
But yeah, so I'd go with a muscle car.
A
I'd
muscle
probably
car
do
for
like a Stingray Corvette or like
Ooh,
something like that.
nice.
I know something loud and
classic.
sexy.
Yeah. You go. I gotcha. Okay.
Just thinking about it, such a love muscle cars.
Do you want me to give you a minute? Here you go.
All right, yeah. Don't DM me if you have a nice car.
It's over.
Ooh, I'm like, what do you drive? Most people are like, so what do you want in life? And
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you drive?
Can I see your car keys?
Whip it out. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? I feel like you're an extrovert.
You're right. I'm completely an extrovert. 100% extrovert.
I can tell.
Yeah. I'm extrovert 100%. Yeah. I don't even know what introvert means. I can't. I'm not afraid to walk into any room. I have fun.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of friends?
No. I have a good close knit group.
You
but
can't
I know.
say no and shake your head yes. It
okay.
throws me off.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes. I have a lot of people I know and I spend time with. Yeah, but I would say as far as friends go, I have a very good clique of people that I trust.
Like a tight knit.
A tight knit group. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Do you like coffee or tea more?
Coffee.
I was gonna say I kind of knew the
Yeah.
answer to that.
3 cups of
but-
coffee a day. 8 a.m., 3 p.m., 8 p.m. Yeah, I do. 3 coffee a day. Actually, I'm getting around there now.
Are you routine oriented?
No, but with my coffees, I am. With my coffees, I am.
What
do. It's
else
just
is
always been my life.
scheduled?
I think I don't really have much of a schedule. Like when I'm touring, like I get way more schedule, but I'm off for the summer, which is great. Like I'm just building my next hour now, but I'm off until September. So like it's kind of cool to be like home with the kids and like stuff pops up and I'm like, I could go to this. Because, you know, as like a traveling comic, you have to like be on the road. And there's like
Yeah.
a concert I want to go to. I'm like, oh, I could go. Like, it's really cool. So this is a really cool part of my year right now where I'm able like to go to concerts and do things with my kids and family and like go on vacations, go to different charity events. Like, it's fun. I could say yes to stuff.
Yeah. Do you let your kids see like rated R movies or anything?
My daughter loves horror.
Oh,
She's 9 years
really?
old, loves horror. She was Pennywise for Halloween last year. I swear to God,
Stop.
she's crazy. She loves it. So she has gotten into, Dad, can I watch some scary movies? So we started with like the old school Ghostbusters. And we started like work up from there. And she like got freaked out a little bit by Slimer when he charges
Yeah.
Bill Murray, you know, some stuff. So then she's like, can we watch something else? And we've been stepping it up. So then she really wanted to see Pennywise. And I said, all right, look, we'll watch the first scene. of
How- she's like
Pennywise.
9?
She's 9. She's just turned 9. She was 8 at this point. And I was like, we'll watch the first scene where I don't know if you know the movie, but where the boat goes down into the sewer and he's really creepy under it. I said, we'll just watch that one scene. And she
I've never
watched
seen it.
Oh, no. So there's a
Oh, I
scene,
don't do
he's
scary
well,
movies.
especially Scary
No,
Clown.
shoot
So he's
me.
in there, and I was like, oh my God. And I looked at her, and she was like, this is awesome. And I was like, you have issues.
Yeah, she's gonna be the kind
Yeah.
of girl watching like a psychological,
Yeah.
like Ted Bundy
Yeah, for
documentary.
sure. Yeah, I mean, her mom loves
Eating
all that.
ice cream.
True crimes, all that stuff. Like,
Oh God.
yeah, it's crazy. But
I will
yeah.
have nightmares for days.
Yeah.
There's no, I can't.
I didn't get into horror much until my wife was big into horror, and she doesn't like comedy, which is so funny. And I like always loved comedy and action, and now I think I'm well rounded. I watch more horror and stuff now.
How did you and your wife meet?
She worked for the company that I was working for, so I worked as a training program manager for the baby store Giggle, which was a store that sold high-end baby furniture and gear. And I would go open up new stores, and they opened a new store up in Northern California where she lived, and she
Okay.
was hired. And I did the training. What they would do is they would send me, and I was such a good salesman, they would float the numbers. So they would let me live there for 3 weeks, and I would sell the shit out of everything, make it look like it was successful, then we'd come back to New York. So I was there for 3 weeks, and we went on a couple dates and whatnot, and we started dating long distance. And then I told her I can't. We did long distance for a year and a half, and I said I can't.
What was
do
her
this
role?
anymore. She was a sales associate at the new store that opened.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, you got to move to New York or we break up, and she moved to New York.
Was there any problems with HR? Did they?
Yeah, the CEO called me in the office, and she was like, I don't think she expected me to shoot her straight. She was like, she's like, are you dating? You know, and I said, yeah. And she goes, oh. I go, why? Is that a problem? She goes, no, well, you know, I've been sending you out there. I said, yeah, to work. I said, I'm performing out there. I don't know. Like, and that was like a thing. And she's like, oh, okay. She's like, well, you know, just be careful. And I was like, be careful with what? I was like, you know, we're just dating and whatnot. And then she ended up quitting after
Yeah.
sometime after that anyway, because she got a new job or whatnot. And so that was. I don't think she expected me just to be truthful. It
Yeah,
was like,
most of the time people don't.
yeah, I know.
You know, they're like expecting you to want to hide it.
Yeah,
or-
it's more work. The web of lies. It's so hard to keep up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well then time for my dessert question. So how did you propose to your wife? Oh, I love these.
She loves bread and butter.
Okay.
So we were in Curacao, and I'm a very spontaneous person. And we were walking through the night before. We were walking through this courtyard under the stars. I'm like, this is so pretty. I was like, I should totally propose to her. And I had already decided I'm probably going to. And I was like, oh, I don't have a ring. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go get a ring and propose to her. So the next day we booked a couples massage. I said they didn't have a couples massage. There's only one. So I went in the spa with her. I went into a room. I walked out and left her there to get an hour. I shot downtown to the Diamond District, bought one deep discount, got a Diamond District in the Caribbean,
Gosh.
got her a ring, and then at lunch she loves bread, and the little rolls look like little ring boxes.
Oh my God, how did she not just
So
eat it?
I
Okay.
stole one and I put it in my pocket, right? And then that night I book the beach dinner. And we go to the beach dinner and we're sitting there and I'm like all nervous. I got the roll in my pocket. I opened it and I put the ring in it. So I have it in like my cargo short. Don't judge. So I have my cargo short
Were you
pocket.
wearing flip-flops?
No, I had a closed shoe on.
Okay.
I'm not an animal. So we go down. They set up the whole thing and we come over. I'm like kind of nervous and we're hanging out. I'm waiting for the guy. And he goes, he's like, I just want to apologize. We ran out of bread. So there's no bread on the table to put the roll in there. That was my big thing. So I was
You're
like,
don't worry.
I was like,
we
son,
forgot."
I run our own. So I was like, how am I going to do this? And I was like, I just want to get this bread on the table. So I started, she's talking to me. She's like, this is so pretty. I'm like, oh, look how pretty that is over there. And she's like, yeah. And she won't look. I go, look. And she looks and I take the roll out of my cargo pants and I put a rogue roll on the table. And then she turns back and she goes, where did this come from? Because nobody even came. And I was like, just open it. She goes, what do you mean open it? I was just like, I can't even eat. There's no butter. And I said, listen, I know that you love bread and butter, and I love to be there for you every day when you enjoy it. And she goes, oh, what? And I just opened it and there was a ring in there. And she's like, oh my gosh, she started crying. Like she was trying to calculate everything. So it was like delayed, but yeah. So that's how I did it. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
She said yes. And there we go.
Oh man, the bread and butter
Bread and
story.
butter, yeah. My re-propose was better. My second one, because we got separated for a couple of years. And when we came back together, I was like, I want to make it special. It was our 10-year anniversary-ish. And
You
I was
got
like, let's,
separated?
yeah, I was separated for a couple of years.
Why?
yeah,
I thought you like
Oh,
something.
so yeah,
like
it was
you
a
were on
hostage
one side of the
situation.
world. Yeah, I'm like, what in the world?
So the
Like,
Curacao police came and got
so
me.
this is even better than the proposal.
Yeah.
Okay.
I escaped to camp. Yeah, so we had separated. And when we came back, I was like, you know what, I want to propose to her again. So we had just opened up our dog center on Long Island. We have an adoption center for my rescue, and we had just signed the lease and whatnot. So I went and I got like balloons and I walked down. I set up this whole thing with candles and whatnot, and I went to bring her to the place. And one of her friends saw me walking with the balloons in town, and she texted me, she's like, "Why is Joe carrying around heart balloons?" And then she's like, "Why do you have heart?" She texted me, she's like, "Why do you have heart balloons?" I'm like, "I don't have heart balloons." She's like, "Yeah, she just saw you." I was like, "This small town is killing me." I'm like, "Just come." And she was going to a brunch with her friends, and then she ended up getting like drunk at the brunch. And I was like,
She's like, "Do you have any bread?"
Yeah, I read that. I was like, "I gotta fill up." So like, I couldn't do it that day. I had to go back, blow out all the candles, and the next day she was like hungover. I'm like, "Come with me to the adoption center." She's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Just come." She's like, "Okay." And we went there, and I was like, "Ta-da!" And she's like, "Oh, this is so sweet." I'm like, "It would have been sweeter unless your friend didn't, rat me out about my balloons." But it was sweet. Those are the two times I proposed. To the
That
same
is
lady.
sweet. To the same person.
Same lady. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
How long have you had your dog?
2 years. We just had. We started a nonprofit 2 years ago because we started just collecting old dogs. Like she has, we just always loved adoptable dogs, and she loves the decrepit ones with like the tongue hanging out and whatnot. So we always had all these. Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
Who doesn't like a
Everybody
dog
does.
like that? My
Who
dog's
does?
tongue hangs out of
It's
it.
the best. Yeah.
And I'm just like glad it does, because she's like 8 and she could,
Yeah.
she could be put up for adoption, but good thing that tongue hangs out.
That's it. You got her. So we just we did 2 years ago. We just had our 94th adoption this past weekend. Which is great.
94th.
We adopted out of 94 dogs. We have 12 dogs that are ours.
That's so
and then
sweet.
we have them. Yeah, it's great. It's fun. It's nice. They're all old though, so they don't do anything. It's cute. They just lay around.
Yeah, they're the best.
Yeah, if you have the big ones and stuff, it's tough.
Yeah.
These are just easy.
So where can people find you?
Here normally, I
Yeah?
I stay here. Yeah. On Instagram at Joe_Gatto is my least out to everything. They could go to JoeGattoOfficial.com. That's it, and they could buy my book on all platforms if you search for Where's Barry.
That
That's
is
my
so
kid's book.
cool. Tell me, before I let you go, just for fun, tell me about your book.
So it's a kid's book called Where's Barry?
Uh-huh.
And it's based on a story of when my son lost one of his stuffies one night, and he lost his shit, and we had to go find it,
Oh,
and he had to help him
man.
cope to do it. So it's based on that.
That's cute.
And it's really fun. It's like it was illustrated by a guy, Luke Flowers, who was a big fan of Jokers. So he put like a bunch of Easter eggs in it, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I gave him pictures of my son. He drew it to look like my son.
That's
It's really
neat.
So I just showed it to my kids the other night for the first time, and they flipped out. It was really
Where
great.
are you going to be able to buy it?
Everywhere. Yeah. Everywhere. It's Barnes & Noble, Amazon. It's in
Cool.
stores. It's done by Penguin Publishing. So Penguin
From
Kids Book.
working in a high-end kids furniture store.
There you go. I made my own book. We used to sell books, so I always had an affinity for them. Yeah.
Next, you're going to be building cribs.
Look at me. I'm gonna have the Joe Gatto crib.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on my show.
You're the best. This was so fun.
Oh my God, I can't wait to have you back.
Yeah, me too.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
First date, baby.
Are you really drinking a glass of milk with dinner?
First date.